Welcome back to another episode of the Casey Campbell Podcast. Casey Campbell with you, of course. Pleased to be joined by John Phillps, the head football coach at Temperance Bedford. How's it going?
Going great. Having a great season so far.
Yeah, I know the second week of practice is just coming up here. So how did this first week of practice go for you guys?
We had a great set of two-a-days, Monday through Friday. Then we switched the schedule on the kids to a morning practice on Saturday morning, and they were a little lethargic, but otherwise, I've got really no complaints for the week.
All right. So just what do you really feel like that you've kind of seen your team in just like this week, and then heading into next week?
Well, what I like to see is as we progress through the week, to see how they develop as not just football players, but as a team. So where you get the kids in there on the first day, and you basically have to tell them every single thing to do, and by the end of the week, they're getting the equipment out, they're doing getting the drills ready to go. And that was one of the things that's one of the hallmarks that I always look for in the first week is, they know exactly when we're switching up and how we're switching up and what to go to next. And so once we start getting that routine in, I think we've had a successful first week.
All right. Well, it's time to talk about some of those kids. Go ahead and talk about some of the returners and some of the guys returning for Bedford this year. And let's start with the skill position with quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and tight end. We'll go from there.
Sure. So our quarterback this year, at least the front runner for quarterback right now, is Drew Logsdon. He's a junior. He was a sophomore last year. Mostly played with the JV. Was a JV starter. He basically ran the team the second half of our Livonia Franklin playoff game. Went out there. Our two starters got hurt, or the two guys in front of Drew got hurt, and so Drew was pressed into action. Did a great job for us. He's worked really hard all summer. He's been to a number of camps, and he showed up real well at the UT University of Toledo 7-on-7. So we're real happy with his progress. He's been a leader in the weight room as well as off the weight room. So we're kind of excited to see what he's going to do. So that's our quarterback. Our beast back, or our fullback, because we're a flex bone team, meaning we're triple option, Georgia Tech, a Navy, Army style. We lost an all-stater basically last year in Ty Brueggemann, but we've got two guys coming back, both seniors, that are split time with Trey or spelled Trey last year. And again, both of them worked hard in the weight room in the off season. Both are looking big and strong. That's Hunter Punyon and I forget, Rosick. We just call him Rosie.
Yeah.
But so he's going to be our beast back. Our returning slot backs, Owen Shabelsky, a big kid, 6'4", very fast. He's also a track athlete. He's a returning starter at the slot backs, so he can get to the edge really quickly. And we moved one of our former quarterbacks over to slot, Lucas Gerber, who's contributed a lot. This will be both Owen and Lucas's third year on varsity as juniors. So, we're looking towards their leadership.
For sure.
As far as the wide receivers, we're not a huge wide receiver team, but we've got a good core of guys.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to the offensive and defensive line.
Okay. So offensive line wise, we're really our left side. We've got actually 3 of our 5 guys are returning starters. Kyle Klosik is out at the tackle, and his guard is Connor Green. And then Cooper Miller is our starting center. And actually, all 3 of those guys just got voted captain on Friday. So that's a plus for us. We've got that type of leadership, and again, those 3 guys argue like they're married, like they're in a relationship. So that you can see that tightness on the offensive line. So we're really looking forward to seeing what those guys do together as they team up. We have we're looking to fill a slot on the right side. We do have Hunter Fonts coming back, who's a starting sophomore last year for us. He looks good, and then we've got a battle for the tackle on that side.
All right.
Defensive line, we've got a returning. So last year we had an all-state defensive end, and on his opposite side was a kid named Nolan Lasky, who was a junior last year, and he mentored under our all-stater Tommy Huss. And Nolan Lasky's back at defensive end. He's going to be a beast out there. And then most of the guys that I've already mentioned on the offensive line are are going to be over there, two platooning it for us on and off in a rotation.
All right, let's go to the linebackers and secondary.
Sure. Our linebackers are going to be some new guys this year. We lost a lot of experience at the linebackers. But in the middle linebacker, we've got Brandon Bruning coming back. He's going to get his first start this year. Vinny McGranahan, just a guy that's just a hard-nosed kid that flies around and hits people. The outside linebackers are young kids, juniors coming up. And so we're looking forward to them. Out on the corners, we've got some experience there with Avery Laverty. And then where we really have our experience is back in at the safety with Aiden Shuck, who's been, again, like a 3-year starter back there.
Yeah. So a lot of experience at a lot of places. Let's go to special teams.
Well, we have special teams. We've got a kicker. We've got a dedicated kicker named Jack Decker. He's been to all kinds of camps. He's out there. He does all of our kicking for us. Special teams, we're looking at filling in those holes. We try and get as many kids on the field as possible. So, it's something we're working on.
Absolutely. All right. We've talked about the kids. Now let's talk about the schedule.
Sure.
Of course, starting off August 25th at Canton. Of course, a brand new team. Brand new coach. Of course, Casey Best heading over there. So that's where Bedford will start the season. And I'll just run down the schedule. September 1st, you'll be home against Ann Arbor Skyline. September 8th at Dexter. September 15th, home against Saline. September 22nd at Ann Arbor Pioneer. September 29th, home against Ypsi Lincoln. October 6th, home against Ann Arbor Huron. October 13th at Monroe, and then finishing up the season October 20th, home against Toledo St. Francis de Sales, part of the new Catholic League.
Yes, sir. Yep.
Of course, down in Ohio, actually, Ohio high school football teams are starting their season this week. So,
yep.
So pretty good schedule. Lots of interesting non-conference opponents, and also playing a team not far down the road from Ohio.
Right. Well, we're in actuality where we're located. I can throw a rock and hit Toledo. We're literally 2 miles from our school right here is 2 miles from the border. So we're very familiar with Toledo St. Francis. We played them a number of times, so we're looking forward to seeing them again.
Yeah, and then of course, some good non-conference opponents, of course, with Canton, and then there's the SEC Red. Yeah,
we're always looking to get up there to the KLAA and see that, because it's always a good challenge. You want to challenge yourself against good, traditional opponents, and so we're looking forward to getting a chance at Canton. It's a little bit of a travel for us, but we expect to put on a good game up there.
Yeah, for sure. And then just the conference itself, obviously some really, really solid teams, especially, of course, those teams have to win when the Red got some more teams. What's that been like since that? Because I think we're on year 2 or 3 of the new aligned SEC Red.
Well, to be honest, Casey, it is a grind. The SEC Red is a grind, especially if you're scheduled back to back, with those teams. Like you look at the beginning of our season, we've got Saline and Dexter within the first 4 or 5 weeks. That's a tough schedule to come up, because you've got to, you can't let down. If you're going Saline and Dexter back to back, or you're trying to get back up for, Monroe in a couple of weeks, because that's our crosstown rival for all intents and purposes, or at least cross county rival. So it's a grind trying to make sure that your kids understand, you got to stay at a certain level all the way through. And, we're just hoping for no letdowns.
All right. And really just, I think this next week, and of course you got the scrimmage, where are you heading? If you have a scrimmage, where are you heading for it?
We have a 3-way scrimmage. We're going to be at Gibraltar Carlson on Thursday. We're during the day, I think a noon start. And there we're going to see Gibraltar Carlson and Dearborn.
Okay. Yeah, two solid schools there. And then really, what do you want to see out of these next few weeks before that big game against Canton?
Again, continue to gel, continue to watch the kids take over the process. that again, it's about what they can do and how they're, how they're going to build their own team here. We can only do so much. So as they continue to take over the process and begin to, make it their own, that's what we want to see.
All right. Well, John, thank you so much for coming on and talking with us, and best of luck to the Kicking Mules this season.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Casey.